A trio of young stars, the core of the Devils, look to keep the highlights coming this season. This is the Devils Season Preview Show presented by RWJ Barnabas Health. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Prudential Center. I'm Erica Wachter. Thanks so much for joining us as we preview a new season of Devils hockey over this next half hour. And over the offseason, New Jersey made a lot of new additions as they strive to get themselves back into the playoffs for the first time since 2017-18 and just the second time in their last 10 seasons. And while, yes, this is a young team, they are now a young, experienced group, but there was still a need to get some veteran voices and some more playoff experience into that locker room. So that is exactly what General Manager Tom Fitzgerald did. And if you're a hockey fan, you often saw this guy in the big moments of the biggest playoff games. Look no further than that one right there this past June. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Palat scoring the go-ahead goal in the final minute of the third period to lift the Lightning over the New York Rangers and avoid going down 3-0 in this series. So Ondrej Palat, certainly the big splash this summer for the New Jersey Devils. We hope to see those types of celebrations a lot for years to come in a New Jersey Devils uniform as he signed a 5-year, $30 million contract on July 14th after 10 seasons in Tampa Bay. And simply put, it was a huge signing for New Jersey, the two-time Stanley Cup champ, bringing championship experience, veteran leadership, and a whole lot of skill up front to complement this lineup. We asked Palat at Media Day why he chose New Jersey, and his preseason line mate Jack Hughes also talks about the benefit of having number 18 on this year's squad.
They want to create something like in Tampa, and now it's the time, you know. The young guys are not that young anymore, and they're ready to step up and you know, make a push for the playoffs and be great this season.
Palat will be a big help for us. You know, he's a guy with championship pedigree. You know, he's been to a bunch of finals too, I think 4. So he'll be big for us. But you know, obviously me, Nico, Brader, guys like that, we're all a year older, another year under our belt. So you know, I'm sure a lot of people are looking to us to kind of take the next step and, you know, help push us.
And while Palat is the biggest offseason acquisition for the New Jersey Devils, you cannot deny what General Manager Tom Fitzgerald did in terms of adding to the defensive core of this team, really making it his mission to beef up the defense and improve the blue line overall. Here's a look at the projected top 6 defensemen entering this 2022-23 season. Damon Severson, the longest tenured Devil, is back for his 9th season. Dougie Hamilton and Ryan Graves return for their second seasons in New Jersey. Meantime, Jonas Siegenthaler looks to build upon a terrific first full season in the red and black, where he was just a lockdown defender. And some newcomers there, as you see on the right. John Marino acquired from Pittsburgh in a trade for Ty Smith, and Brendan Smith signing during free agency after playing last season in Carolina. The pair of 6'1" defensemen come in with some playoff experience, something invaluable to this group. And while the growth and improvement certainly looks to be there on paper, the Blue Liners know the real work is just beginning.
It's easy to say, as you can, you know, in the summertime or when you're improving your roster per se, but the job is to take care of business on the ice. And on paper, we're definitely probably one of the best D-cores, if not in the league, with our depth and who we have coming currently. But yeah, we look good on paper now. It's just a matter of proving it. So I think that's the biggest thing for us.
It's definitely a strength, and we did get, as you said, beefed up. We got a little bit bigger and a little bit more mature, and I think that will be kind of our focus point to kind of move everybody in the right direction. Yes, the speed and the skill up front is great, but you got to get the puck into their hands, and you got to give them that opportunity. So if we can do that on the back end and help shut things down, then that gives us that chance to win.
Now, certainly the changes across the lineup are already exciting enough, but the most important position on the ice is between the pipes. And for a 3rd straight season, Fitzgerald went out trying to shore up that area of the game. Net minding, as we know, a big source of frustration a season ago. 7 different goaltenders were used. That was a franchise record, as starters Mackenzie Blackwood and Jonathan Bernier dealt with very lengthy injuries. But over the offseason, Fitzgerald traded for Vitek Vanacek, signing the 26-year-old to a 3-year contract. Vanacek has played all 82 games of his NHL career as a member of the Washington Capitals, which includes 3 playoff appearances. And we know he really benefited from going up against one of the greatest scorers of our generation on a daily basis in Alexander Ovechkin. So both Vanacek and Blackwood have shown significant flashes of greatness during their young careers so far, and we expect that battle for the net to be a very good one. And also worth mentioning, Bernier, he underwent hip surgery last season. He's working his way back to 100% and is currently ahead of his projected schedule to return to game action. He has been on the ice this preseason. Here's head coach Lindy Ruff on the goaltending woes from a season ago and hopefully leaving it all in the rearview mirror.
I'm excited about conversation I had with Mackenzie and how excited he is to put everything behind him, the injuries that he dealt with throughout the whole year. A great conversation with Bernier and where he's at and how he's progressing. I think we all know that goaltending is a backbone of teams, and to lose your starting 2 guys hurt us. Got to give a lot of credit to the young guys that stepped in that helped us win games. But it's a position that you don't want to suffer injuries at. You don't want to miss them for too long. But at the same time, I think that group of 3 with Vanacek coming in now makes us stronger, makes us a better team.
It's going to be nice this year. I mean, it was tough last year with Bernie going down and then Blackie hurt as well. I mean, that can happen, but to have both those guys out for such an extended period of time, that's tough. I mean, I think guys coming up did a great job. Dazzy played really well when he came up, but tough position for him to come in and play 20 games with and not much rest in there as well for a young guy. That's really tough. So he did really well, but at the same time, it's Blackwood's a veteran goalie and Bernie's and Vitek veteran goalies that are really going to help us.
Second selection, the New Jersey Devils are proud to select from Nitra, Simon Nemic.
A new top draft pick as well as a new assistant general manager in Kate Madigan making history in the Devils organization. A lot of changes this offseason, and it wasn't just to the roster. Let's talk about some other notable changes made to the coaching staff. Joining head coach Lindy Ruff, GM Tom Fitzgerald brought in a Jack Adams finalist and Andrew Burnett from Florida. Ryan McGill comes to Jersey from Vegas, where he spent the last 5 seasons, and promoted from within the organization was Sergei Brelin. The experience of these 3 speaks for itself. A veteran coaching staff where we are told those opinions are so valued within the room. I asked Fitzgerald how important it was to find new voices in the room to get this team to the next level and what each coach will bring. That topic leads off our conversation.
To add good people, you are removing good people, and that's unfortunately how to do. But with Andrew, it was just timing. You know, all of a sudden, you just kind of watching from the outside what was going on down in Florida, and the longer it dragged out, the more you felt, this guy going to be available. Yeah. When he does become available, it's like, really felt it was a no-brainer, you know, with his experience behind a bench, coaching with a guy like Joe Quenneville for years, and now having, you know, head coaching experience and coaching a team to the President's Trophy. So that was a no-brainer. Ryan McGill's got a lot of experience coaching the defense, running the PK, good program with the Vegas Golden Knights. And then with Sergei, you know, 30 years with the organization from when he was drafted to today, and he's a savant. He just knows the game inside and out, and he sees things differently than people. Being the eye in the sky and working with our kids after practice was just, it was a no-brainer. Plus, just adding the extra hands and eyes around the team for more development was really important to me.
So not only do you have some proven winners behind the bench, but certainly on the ice as well with some big signings this offseason. So you got the job done. You addressed the areas that you really wanted to. As you've evaluated the start of training camp, the first week, and as we get ready for the season, how do you feel the presence of some of these guys has already impacted the compete level?
Well, we talk about championships, right? That's what we want to, that's what we strive for, is to win a championship, multiple championships. But to do that, I do think you have to have people who actually won championships and have experience on what it takes to win a championship or even get through first round, never mind going 4 rounds. So, you know, when you look at the pool of free agents that were out there and what Ondrej Palat has done in his short career, and being with an organization kind of similar we want to do. We want our young prospects and our young stars to grow together, just like they've done in Tampa Bay. To go to 3 Stanley Cups in a row, winning 2 is something. It's no easy task, and the sweat, tears, and the efforts that go into that, I just felt it was so important to add to the locker room. You look at a Brendan Smith or an Eric Haller, who, these guys have played multiple rounds of hockey in the playoffs. Haven't won, but still, they really thirst for that championship, but can add value with experience and what it takes to not only get to the playoffs, but just even the I call them the midwinter blues in February, when you're just looking for the All-Star break to come, and maybe a game peaks a bit, and then you get re-energized after the All-Star game. These guys have experienced that, and I think it's just so important to add to this young crew.
Certainly need to talk about the goaltending. Last year, a real anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
No one's really seen anything like it, going through 7 goaltenders. A lot of frustrations, a lot of injuries. Hopefully all that is behind us now. But to have Vitek Vanacek now coming in through the trade, Mackenzie Blackwood working himself back, feeling really good. You guys have 3 goaltenders right now. Just how good does it feel for you to have hopefully shored up that position? Because it hasn't been the case. Every time we think it's there, it hasn't, unfortunately, went there for the last 2 seasons.
I felt really good the last 2 summers going into training camp, and then, one decides to retire, and Jonathan's injury last year, compiled by Mackenzie's injury. You know what? We just want to put that behind us. There's a lot of excitement in what we have here today. Will there be future injuries? I'm sure. But we at least feel now that we have a lot of depth.
And it seems like individually, so many of these guys talk about wanting to hit their own benchmarks, but they want to make the playoffs. They want to at least be competitive, pushing for the playoffs. For you, as a general manager of this team, how would you define success for this 2022-23 season?
Well, I think putting the cart before the horse is something we talk about. You just can't do it. Like, you can't just snap your finger and say we want to be a playoff team, and we want to play with good details, and we have to create a process daily. That's practice habits I talk about. That's challenges from our coaching staff to our players to our players, pushing each other to be the best they possibly be. But you just can't. You just don't snap your fingers and say it's done. That process is really important. We've started that already, and they know there's going to be injuries, but who's the next man up to take that challenge? We've created some depth in all the forward position, the deep position, obviously the goalie positions we talked about, but creating that process of learning how to win, creating how to win, taking every day. We play 82 playoff games because they're all different. They really are. It's not a series and you change things up. They're 82 different playoff games, and it's really pushing each other to your max. Adding the pieces we did, I think the aggravation of some of our younger, experienced players that want to make the playoffs, they understand what they have to do to get where we want to be.
Really enjoyed that interview. So the message from Fitzgerald for all of us is to just have patience in this process, but based on the confidence and also the competition level we've seen throughout the preseason so far, it looks like perhaps this could be the start of something special for this group for the season ahead. And speaking of that, we will keep our eyes right there when we return on our season preview show, because we'll have a look at some key dates on the Devils' schedule. Get those calendars out. It's time to circle some dates.